Hey everyone, back again with the Pokey Flips podcast, joined by my usual co-host, KetchumAllCollectibles, Dan. How are we doing today, Dan?
Doing very well. It is early. It is still in the AM right now, 11 a.m. Eastern. But we're here. It's going to be a shorter one than normal. It's going to be an exciting weekend. It's not a convention weekend or anything, but for me, it's almost like it is. It's going to be a busy one. Doing some travel. I'm sure we'll talk about that. But how are you doing? What's going on over in near Chicago?
I'm doing well. It is freezing cold over here.
Cold over here too.
But but no, aside from that, I'm doing good. Don't have as exciting of a weekend planned as you, but my mom and my sister are coming out today, so that'll be good. They're gonna come out for the weekend.
I remember you mentioned that it timed well, where I needed to be done early, and it helps you to be done early too, because you're expecting some guests, and I'm gonna be a guest for a few different people this weekend. So good stuff. Glad that it jives well with both of our schedules.
Yeah, worked out well.
But yeah, as far as for everyone here, as always, Q&A, drop your questions in the chat. We're gonna talk a little bit about Prismatic, I'm sure. We've got the God Pack puller in the house. We'll probably talk about that pretty quickly. But yeah, leave your questions. We will plan on leaving by 1 p.m. Probably pretty firm because I want to get on the road. 1 p.m. Eastern, so just under 2 hours from now, we will be wrapping it up. So leave your questions. We will get to what we can. And other than that, hope everyone, hopefully this helps you plow through, push through. I mean, if you're West Coast, you just clocked in, right? You're staring at 8, 9, 10 hours of work. So maybe we can get you through your morning coffee. Maybe we can help speed up your day a little bit, regardless whether it's after lunch or just
who has lunch even on the East Coast? It's 11 a.m.
I mean, I just ate lunch because I had a 10:30 lunch because I'm going to be on the road. The kids actually have a half day too. So like the wife and kids aren't getting out early. They're just getting out normal half day time. When they do a half day, it's weird. Because like I guess they like still have to give them lunch for a half day. So normally they I don't know how they segment it. I think they have like a couple grades at a time. So maybe the K through 2 will be at 11:30 a.m., 3 through 4, however they do it. But they do it in like half-hour chunks, staggered right around noon. Well, on a half day, the kids leave at noon. So it's like I think they've got the pre-K kids eating lunch at like 10. And then on up from there. It's really weird schedule, but I just skipped breakfast and then I had a lunch at 10:30, so I'm good to go.
So you had a brunch?
Yeah, Dan waking up extra early to not miss a meal dark. I mean I don't miss too many meals, absolutely. But yeah, let's talk about going through the chats. We got Chat BN here. We've got Hive Mind. We've got Garen. We've got Ponga, BB. We were not late, BB. I clicked go live at 11:00. As long as I click it before I see that one, we're good to go. But Prismatic, how have the Prismatic streams been going? Have you pulled a God Pack yet? How many packs have you opened? Hit me with a bunch of let's do some Prismatic talk because it's the best set of all time, naturally.
I don't know about that. I don't know.
It's the newest set, so it's objectively fact. It's not even up for debate.
Prismatic release went really well. We sold out. So I opened. It was like 1,300 packs, or products worth of packs. And then I kept 50 ETBs sealed to sell those on stream. And then I kept like 12 of each sealed product sealed. So the sticker collections, the poster collections, the binder collections, all that stuff. And we sold everything Friday night and then sold a little bit on Saturday night. But then I was completely out of Prismatic after that. So it went really well. I was really happy about that. It made for an absolutely miserable Sunday and Monday, but we busted through it, Walrus and I, so that was good. But yeah, no, as far as like the pull rates go, we did get 2 demigod packs, so that was exciting. I still got to do an Instagram post about that stuff. But we got a few of the evolutions. We got an Eevee, 2 Flareons, a Glaceon, and I want to say a Sylveon, maybe a Jolteon. No Sunbreons, no Sunbreon Master Ball or Umbreon Master Balls.
Actually, Nick, it's called a Boombreon, actually.
A Boombreon. I like it. I like it. And yes, Walrus and Vandy were there Friday night. Vandy opened 3 packs, so he was a very big help. He was a very big help.
Pulling his weight. Nice that he could chip in as well. So you sold out on Friday night. Like, you didn't have any available Saturday, Sunday. Have you restocked since? Are you buying from the open market?
I haven't.
Wow.
Yeah, I basically, because I put a quantity of 1,000 because I figured I had at least 1,000 packs. I didn't know how many more I had left, so I put a quantity of 1,000 on Friday night. Sold through all those, and then recounted, and I had another 300 and something packs. So I put those up Saturday night, and those sold Saturday. And then after that, I haven't restocked it.
So we got quite similar allocations then, at least for the first wave, because I think I left 100 ETBs sealed. I have a requirement that I have to put at least 4 ETBs on the pallet with my dad. My dad and I have a prior contractual obligation to my first 4 cases of ETBs, and I kept 6 more. Just like the way that things have gone, I could see it being where Prismatic a year from now is down to $6 a pack, but I could see a situation where they don't extensively reprint the ETBs. Like, maybe we get a little nibble of it, kind of like Crown Zenith. Like Crown Zenith right now, the packs are up in the 6s, but the ETBs are at like 100. The ETBs are like nearly $10 a pack worth. So I just tried preserving as many ETBs as I could. Mm-hmm. I also am going to be doing, depending on how tomorrow night goes, I'm going to be, I know I was waiting for my call out. You said you were going to come in guns blazing. You said you were going to be calling me out for being an evil scalper, charging nearly $15.
Well, I thought we were talking positivity about the set first, and then I'll roast you afterwards.
You were saving that for the end, but yeah, I'm going to be dropping some amount of ETBs. If the stream goes really poorly, if I'm getting destroyed, it might only be 5 or 10 ETBs. I will be dropping it retail. The way that we'll do it, we'll just be auctioning the high-end slabs. We'll be auctioning, and for anyone who doesn't know what I'm talking about, tomorrow night on Fanatics Live, PK and I are going to be breaking a base set unlimited booster box, and we're going to be auctioning all 36 packs at $1 a piece, and we're going to weigh them after they buy them. If it's heavy, we'll open it. Hopefully get a nice clip. Hopefully make a nice big promo thing out of someone pulling a Charizard. Hopefully PK will get to live up to his childhood dream of pulling a Raichu. But lights will be ship sealed so that people don't just get destroyed, so that people don't pull a Pokemon breeder and lose $500, right? But as we're doing those auctions, as we're doing the other auctions, we'll just like pop one in. I don't even know what MSRP is. It $59.99 or is it $64.99?
I think it's $59.
Okay, yeah, I'll have to verify what that even is, because I'm a monster who sells at market price. Like, what an absolute what an absolute demon. But yeah, I'm really excited. If things are going really well, if I'm doing well on the base box, I think Fanatics is going to kind of kick in a little bit on those prismatic ETBs at MSRP. Kind of like, I know eBay does similar subsidies. They do like similar things on their end to help promote streams from time to time. But if things are going really well, I might do 20 or 30 prismatic ETBs at MSRP. So it's like a free $50 bill for people, right? On like what they're getting for a discount.
That'll be cool. That'll be cool. I'm sure that stream will go good. I'm sure that'll go well.
Have you not had, though? I need to really like dig in on this. I'm so surprised that you haven't. I actually just recorded my video for Monday, and I want to have like PK and Ponga stocked with every set all the way back to like battle styles. I want them to have every set in stock. If someone comes in asking, like no one's been asking, where's the prismatic? No one's been like bummed about not having the opportunity to buy it.
No. Well, people have been asking, when are you going to get more of it? And I basically told people, if I get more of it now, I'm going to be paying $9-10 a pack. You're going to be paying
That's what I'm paying.
$13-14 a pack. Or we could wait a few weeks and I'll get a couple hundred more packs in whenever, beginning of February. So 2 weeks. So I think I'm just gonna wait for that at this point. Until we get whatever's coming out. I forget what's coming out. The surprise boxes and then something else.
There's that pouch thing with the Eevee face pouch.
I don't know if that one's coming out. Is that one coming out next week? Or this?
I can't remember the timing.
I forget exactly what it is, but yeah, that's my plan with it, is just hold off. Because yes, the singles are worth a ton of money, but it is not a fun set to open. It is not an enjoyable set to open. The pull rates are absolute garbage.
Just pull the God Pack. Pull the God Pack and it's fun. I mean, just get the hit. Ponga had a lot of fun last night.
Yeah, when you pull the God Pack, it's good. But I almost think that's what skewed. I almost think the TCG player, like the pull rates that they came out with, they say it's 1 in 40 packs to get an SIR, and then obviously more if you're looking for a specific SIR. But I almost think the God Packs and the Demigod Packs skewed their results. Because from my experience, we sold 1,300 packs. We probably opened 1,200 of those packs. I did not have a 1 in 40 shot at an SIR. It was like 1 in 100. It was way more than that.
When your hardest pulls, like by the card, are over 1 in 1,000, opening only 1,000 packs, like that's not a representative sample. Ideally, you would open 5 to 10 times the amount of whatever your rarest individual hit was. And I've heard speculation that a God Pack might be 1 in 5,000 packs, 1 in almost 10,000 packs or something. So like if there are 9 IRs in that, or yes, it's 9, right? It's an Eevee Master Ball, and then it's every. So if there's 9 IRs in that, and that's 1 out of 5,000, like that would juice up the rate, right? That would it wouldn't crazy though if it's 1 out of 5,000. It's like you're opening 1 every 500, right? It's bumping up by that increment because you're opening 9 or 10 like all in one go, but only 1 out of 5,000 times. Like, but one thing to be said for that is so much of this is built on gambling. So much of this is built on like what could happen, what it could be. That pack, the value in that pack right now, just on TCG player near mint pricing, what is that, like a $4,000 pack? I mean, how many other sets afford you that opportunity? PK and I are breaking an $18,000 box tomorrow night, and the best hit in that, it's like if it's near mint pricing, what's Charizard? $1,000 near mint maybe.
Yeah.
PSA 8's probably high several hundreds, and then PSA 9 is 13, 14, 1,500. The 10's over 10 grand, but like you have to 10 that. If you want to be fair to the Prismatic, if you 10 all those cards, which is way more likely that you'll at least 10 some of them, like that makes it nearly a $10,000 pack too, right? I don't even know what the PSA 10s would be going for right now. So it's wild. It's so crazy. I think that set will age really well because of that. Because at any time, it's just like you can almost retire off it, right? You get one right back, you can almost retire. Like the one ring.
I don't know. I think it will because it's an Eevee set. But if Pokemon really prints it heavily, will it go down as the best set in Scarlet and Violet? I'm not convinced on that. I'm not
personally. I don't think it beats 151 still. Personally, like I'm biased Kanto boy. But as far as the chase, as far as what the ups, I don't think there'll be a bigger upside pack. I don't think there's ever been a bigger upside pack in the entirety of Pokemon, right? And I mean, God packs, they'll probably keep them special. I don't think they'll just start doing them every year, but it would be surprising if in the next 5 years they didn't do some big banger set that had the opportunity to do it again. But also, I think it would be fairly surprising if they did it again anytime this year or maybe even next. Like, I think they're gonna make it more special, make it be, because if you do God packs in every set, it's like they're cool, but you can overdo things.
Yeah.
No,
they
I
gotta follow.
think,
They gotta follow the Japanese model and just do it for certain specialty sets.
Yep.
I don't even think all of this, because we get so many specialty sets every year. Well, 2, but I don't think even every specialty set should have it. Just like it worked well with 151, worked well with Prismatic. So as long as they keep doing stuff like that.
Yeah, and I truly think sometime in the next 6 to 24 months, I couldn't tell you when, but I think Prismatic will get down to $5-6 a pack. I think it will be available. Not necessarily. I don't think ETBs, there's a chance they might not get down to MSRP. There's a chance that it might be largely allowed to happen by some Sea and Sky, some Blooming Water-esque collection coming through Costco, coming through Pokemon Center, whatever it may be. So if people are true collectors out there, if people are just the end consumers out there, not looking to buy and sell and make money and not having it for their streams, I would urge patience. That's like Crown Zenith. I forget where I was just talking about it, but it might have been on my live stream or something. I don't think there's ever been a set that has never been under $5 a pack. Like, every set has been available for under $5 a pack at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Evolving Skies was significantly under that for a fair bit of time. 151 last summer, it was sitting on Costco pallets, right? It was $80 for 16 packs. So that right there, the TCG player price might have never been under that, but like through Costco, I want to say I sold 36 pack lots on eBay for as little as like 200, which 180 would be $5 a pack. So a little bit over $5 a pack, but
I want to say it got close, but I think the lowest I was down to was like 30 for a 5-pack lot.
Yeah.
So I think it did get close, even 151.
Yeah. Yeah, $5-6 a pack. Like, every set has gotten there. Might there be a set someday? Could this be the first one that never gets down there? I would lean towards no, but like, it could happen, I guess. It all comes down to, people say demand is the only thing that matters, but supply demand equilibrium is what matters. We'll have to see how much they actually print it, right?
And hopefully we get a ton of it printed, because there's definitely not enough right now. Yeah,
I think. Even like Evolving Cries, people say the EV on Evolving Skies is pretty rough to open. It's a pretty, like, most people buy it $20 a pack and they get wrecked. But they keep buying it. It's one thing that PK and Ponga are constantly texting me like, "Hey, try to get more Evolving Skies. Try to get more Evolving Skies." People keep going through it. Hard to keep it in stock I think over time it will age fairly well, because it's like at any time, any given pack, you can just have, and maybe it won't be $4,000, $5,000. Maybe all the cards will settle in, and it'll only be $1,000, $2,000. Like, that's still crazy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, for sure.
I see Java gifted 5. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Java,
for the gifted memberships. Yeah, I've seen some photoshopped Traumatic Evolutions instead of Prismatic. I've seen that multiple times.
TCG Caravan might have I think he got a PSA 10 of the Sunbrigon. You see his comment? We will know what a PSA 10 goes for very, very soon, with a little winky face.
So
if that is true, congrats on that.
Is it going to is it going through like Z? Is it going through PSA themselves? That's probably the play, right? Is to send it at a higher service level and then have it go right into your vault, because then it can be auctioned like immediately. It can be auctioned like next day. I know a lot of people are making those plays. I would definitely vouch for ZNG Emporium or myself if you're using Fanatics, but like, James's cheaper service for sure. But when it comes down to like the additional week, maybe 2-week lag, having to get it shipped from PSA to you ship it to James, he gets it in a Sunday to Sunday auction block, like that might cost you a lot of money in that initial race to the bottom, right?
Mhm.
So I would I know a lot of people have been talking about just doing it at a high service level and then rate from their PSA vault, paying a couple extra percent. But it's like if you pay 3, 4, 5 more percent and you get 40 more percent because it hasn't tanked as hard yet, like that's obviously worthwhile.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Sorry, I am trying to go through and star all these questions. I see them piling up. Let's start with anything else to talk on Prismatic or anything else, or hop into the questions?
Yeah, we can go right into the questions. I know you have.
I'm sure the questions will
Um,
have us weaving as they always do, and we might end up back on Prismatic at some point. But Trix wants to know, what's the difference between the American and European Pokemon market? We had Adrian from Treasure Cruise Trading on a couple episodes ago, and it's just like I don't know that I can explain the difference in plain terms. Like, oh, it's different XYZ. It's just like Adrian is currently executing on some different geographical arbitrage plays. He is buying product that is available for cheaper in Europe that's more expensive in the US due to supply demand constraints differing across different continents. So yeah, I guess one massive difference that jumps out is VAT in customs fees. That's a lot more of a consideration for people in the EU and some other countries like that. Maybe not to get political or anything, but like I've heard people ask and I've heard people speculate, how will these tariffs affect anything? Will they affect anything? I have no clue. I don't really stay that engaged in all that. But like if all your buy orders start getting a 20% tariff, if all of Japan's goods imported to the US, Japan and Mexico and Canada and the EU, like if we just get, we might be in a situation like our European friends, right? Where we have a VAT, customs, tariff, whatever you want to call it. But other than that, that's like the things that jump out at me at what differs between them. What about you?
Yeah, I think it's I think you pretty much answered it. The VAT's the biggest thing. And even if that, hopefully that doesn't happen in the US, because we are very lucky with that. But even if it does happen, I feel like you could easily run a business just buying from the US and not buying from Japan or Europe or anywhere else. But where other countries, it's more so an issue. Because they're smaller, there's less people. You do have to buy internationally more so.
Sebastian wants to know, with it being such a huge part of both of your businesses, do you guys worry about how many streamers are entering the space every day and the market becoming extremely oversaturated? You want to take that one first while I look for more questions?
I used to worry about that with eBay Live, because obviously the more streamers that come on the platform, the viewership gets broken up across those streamers. So that was something that I used to worry about, but now I don't worry about it as much anymore, because I look at it more so now that the more streamers that are on, the more people find out about the platform. Like for eBay Live, Ryan's Card House was actually a really, really good one. He started on eBay Live and he's brought a massive audience over to the live platform. And while he's I'll never be able to compete with like his operation, some of his viewers that learn about eBay Live through him inevitably end up in my streams as well. Because they might hop on eBay Live to check out his stream and then see the other streams that are happening. So it actually, I see it more beneficial to kind of bring awareness to these other to eBay Live. So I think it's more of a benefit than a negative. Now, obviously, there's a point where it could become a negative. Look at Whatnot with all the Pokemon streams going on there, just 24/7. There's hundreds of Pokemon streamers happening all at once, and I think that could be a negative. But I also think as long as you're consistent with the schedule, you're offering good inventory. I don't think everyone can compete with everyone. You're going to have streamers that there's plenty of them on Whatnot. Streamers that hop on and they're running just garbage singles, or their pricing is absolutely insane. Those streamers aren't going to be able to compete with me or Dan or any of the other legitimate streamers. So I don't think it's as necessarily a big problem. Because as long as you set yourself apart from everyone and offer some kind of value that other people aren't offering, you'll be good to go.
Yeah, and I think at some point it will take care of itself. It will kind of equilibrate, because if it gets so oversaturated that no one's making any money, eventually some amount of those people will like close up shop and leave, right? Mm-hmm. As long as you are able to weather that storm, as long as you are there being consistent, ideally being in early. Nick's been on eBay Live for over a year now. It's been a closed system. He's growing that from the ground up. I'm in Fanatics Live pretty early, one of the earlier Pokemon streamers. So that's a huge part of it. That should make us a bit more resilient. But definitely a concern to have. Every good business should know what their risks are. Every good investor, like whatever you're engaging in the hobby, you should try to think through, how could this go wrong? Especially if it's your livelihood, especially if it's a side hustle, you're having fun on the side. It's like, if I make money, great. If I don't, that's fine. But if it's your if it's your bread and butter, which Nick had spent in like almost entirely everything he does over the past year, and me, I'm making a massive pivot towards it in the past few months. So yeah, definitely things to think about.
Yeah.
Chat BN says, "Don't rate Nick when Dan streams tank on eBay Live. Everyone will flock to yours."
Love it.
And as Ponga says, just be honest. These small streamers are going to be gone soon. That's kind of what I was alluding to. Some amount of these people that are not really. I don't want to do the whole TRE capital W, not true Pokemon fans, Pokemon businesses. But when the margins go away, when the margins dip a little bit, a lot of people will dip too with them. So Nick and I have been around for over a decade now, back into the hobby, and not full time, but a few years full time. And we've seen what the market could be. And I think we're both pretty confident with what we've built, what we're doing, that if and when we go through some kind of a lull, some kind of a down period, we can weather those. Like, we will stick them out, even if we're working. Like, I don't know about you, Nick, exactly, but I could take over a 50% pay cut and be perfectly fine with that right now. Like, right now is just crazy. I think a lot of people, they take a 50% pay cut, they're insolvent, they're gone. So that's my thoughts around all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, once the market shifts downward, most will be on the way out. Absolutely. So it takes care of itself.
Exactly.
Let's see. So chat BN discussion. Why are certain vintage Pokemon cards booming, i.e. Skyridge Gengar greater than 10K? So it's not just Skyridge Gengar. Like, all the hype, all the FOMO, all the YouTube thumbnails, all the conversation is focused around Moonbreon and Gray Felt Hat and all these like high pop, more recent, more liquid cards. But there's tons of vintage cards. I made a video like a month or so ago, several weeks ago. There's a lot of vintage cards up 30, 40, 50% plus year over year. There's a lot of them making pretty big moves. So it always comes down to supply and demand, right? It always comes down to the equilibriums of supply and demand. So they're going up because more people are buying at higher prices than are willing to sell them at that price, right?
Yeah, exactly. I didn't even know the Gengar was up over 10. That's wild. But yeah, no, I can definitely see it. The other thing is, have you noticed like WotC stuff drying up a bit? I don't see as many like WotC Hollow, especially like near mint light play. Like good WotC Hollow collections. Whereas a few years ago, you could get those cards anywhere. But now it's getting a lot tougher to find even just like good raw Watsy hollows. You can still find plenty that are heavy play, moderate play, but light play near mint, it's getting tougher for me to find that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I still remember in my mind, I remember how many mint plus pack fresh. I used to buy jungle sets, jungle first edition, fossil first edition. I used to buy them in 2014, 2015, 2016, 300, 400 bucks for the set. I'd grade all the hollows. I'd hit a 10 or 2 maybe, and it would pay for everything. I remember when Lapras was like $700. I'd buy 2 fossil complete hollow sets, and I'd grade if you hit the Lapras, if you hit the Gengar, if you hit like a couple of the bigger ones, you were doing really good. Even if you hit the Hitmonlees and some of the lower mid-tier ones, Aerodactyls, those were a couple $100 a piece. Like quickly you would pay for the set, and it's just wild. It's wild like how much that has changed over time. They printed a ton of it. They printed tons. Like I don't think quite what they're printing today, but the closest to what they're doing today was done back then. And one big difference between then and now, say you printed 12 million cards in a year during base jungle fossil versus 12 million cards in a year during evolving skies, prismatic, sets like this. The pull rate of the biggest chase is 1 in 45 packs for Charizard. Like we're opening 36 packs tomorrow night. There's a 36 and 45 chance approximately that we'll hit a Charizard, right? So when they were printing billions of cards back then, it led to 10, 20, maybe 30 times more of the specific chase cards being printed on like a fixed, just because they were that much easier to pull. So like base unlimited Charizard, I'm as confident as one could possibly be. I would go as far to say there are guaranteed significantly more base unlimited Charizards out there in existence than there were ever printed of Moonbryon, just due to the sheer pull rates alone. And I've done some different math on it. I've estimated like how many of different airs were printed and the chase cards printed, and there were millions of each base set hollow printed. But the attrition over time and like the 10 years I've been in the hobby, it has drastically decreased the amount of those that I come across. But to be fair, like I don't look the same way, the same places that I used to. I used to look on Craigslist. I used to be browsing eBay all the time. Now it's like I see who emails me. And is the random consumer that is going to, I know Scott Pratt used to say, Watsy, walk out the closet. Like, are the random consumers who get back into Pokemon watching Twice Baked Jake and PokeRev and Deep Pocket Monster, are they going to message me? Oh, hey, Dan's buying for his streams. Let me message Dan. It's like, I'm not looking in the places that those people are selling today. So I feel like it's a little bit unfair saying they're going down. Maybe they're as prevalent. I'm just not in the right places at the right time anymore. I think it's an interesting conversation, though.
That is true. That is true.
I got my number one fan in here. My the Helga to my Arnold.
Helga to my Arnold.
Did you hear me the other night on I don't know if you listened to my last live, but I got Brad pretty good. He in public, Helga to Arnold, bullying, being mean, but like he's got a shrine of me somewhere in his house. I'm quite confident.
I can see it. I can see it.
Oh man, my shrine to Brad. To be fair, I do have a shrine to Brad. It is comprised of one single gray felt hat Pikachu that I won from him in Chicago, beating him in basketball. So just being fully open, honest, transparent, I do have a small Brad G card shrine right there.
Oh God.
Let's see. So lots of questions coming in. Appreciate it. Keep the questions coming. Well, quick one here. Thrifty says, question, I'm shivering. How do you people live like this? What is it? It's probably like 60 degrees in Florida or something. I think some like, didn't Florida get snow somewhere actually?
Yeah, it snowed. I don't know where, but Florida and Texas, it was snowing the other day.
I did see that. I saw South Carolina, Florida, Texas. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. But I'm not a big fan of the cold. But to be honest, I would rather 30, 40 than 90 or 100, because like you can add more layers. You can do more to warm yourself up. At some point, like you can't. I guess if you go in the pool or whatever. But Harder to cool yourself down than to warm yourself up.
Yeah. Yeah, 30s and 40s is okay. It's like 10 degrees today. That's a little chilly.
When that wind gets whipping and the wind shows
Oh
like
yeah.
negative 10, negative 20, those are rough. Those are definitely rough. So John Doe wants to know, Danny, did you make a big play on the Greninja Kingdra promos? Because they are popping off now. Beautiful cards. Unfortunately, like I sent all those to Skya probably several months ago, and we probably sold them at $6, $7, $8 a piece. I think like 30, 40 now. I did recently go through a couple of my 5 rows. I had a bunch of like SM 210s, the Hidden Fates ETB.
That's nice.
Articuno, Moltres, Zapdos. Those are doing really well. PSA 10 and sealed.
Yeah.
So I moved a bunch of those. But it's wild. This current boom right now is so wild. I know like a year ago, I was sarcastically saying, because we were in a boom. I think we've been in a boom for a while. I was sarcastically saying, like, people are, when's the next boom coming? People are waiting for a boom. It's like, we're in a boom. Well, the boom boomed again. So I was wrong about like pumping the brakes on people, wanting prices to go crazy again. I didn't think it was possible to the extent that it's going right now. I truly am just like dumbfounded over what the market's doing every day. And at some point it will turn back. At some point it will retrace. It will give some back. But it's like, is it going to retrace 20% after it doubles again? Like, who cares? It's not like that big of a deal.
Yeah, exactly. I don't have any of the sealed, but I got 10 of each set aside. That's it. Nothing crazy. And then the other one that went wild recently that I'm still pissed about, because I said I wanted to buy a bunch of them and I never got around to it, was the Jesse and James from Hidden Fates.
Oh,
have you seen that one? That's
$80 raw.
Yeah,
hundreds in PSA 10. Well, here's another one too. From
God,
a way more recent thing. No.
Oh,
this one.
Okay. Yeah, no, that one too.
This is $40, isn't it? I probably still have 100 plus, but like I had hundreds. Anyone could have had thousands of these. Like you could have had thousands of these over the summer. And I mean, I probably peaked at having a few hundred. I graded a bunch with CGC. I graded a bunch with PSA. And I did well with them, but it's like what they're doing now, it's just bonkers.
It's wild, yeah.
I actually have a PSA 10. I bought it like 2 or 3 weeks ago. So the way that I do my buying, we lock down a price and then people ship stuff and then I pay them the day that I receive it. From the time that I locked down the pricing, I think it took them a few days to ship. And then by the time I received it, I'm like, holy crap. I'm just going to throw it in an auction tomorrow night. I don't care if I get 60% of market, because it's like 60% of market is triple what I thought I was going to get out of it. It's so bonkers. Like the boom boomed again, and then it's just booming from there. It's like, how many stages are there to this rocket? We are beyond Pluto. We are going to the next galaxies, next nebula, whatever. It's like, and then you think it's like going to stop. You think it's going to slow down. And then the next stage kicks in and you just take it another 50 light years away. It's wild.
It's crazy.
I have 14 starred questions. We better get rolling. So some of them are very memey though, so I can start skipping those now that I know that we have a lot of. Sometimes I have to start the meme questions because it's like, I don't know if we're gonna get any questions. We need to make some conversation out of something.
I saw you started Walrus's stupid question.
The orange versus tangerine.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know the difference between an orange and a tangerine and a mandarin and a nectarine. There's like 50 different kinds of oranges, aren't there? Anyways, we have too many questions to delve too deep into that. I don't know if this is Pietro, like Master Set Games Pietro, but what is your preferred method of communication for buying, selling? Messaged you on IG, but wasn't sure if there was a way you liked better. So I'm a pretty small content creator, whatever you want to call it. I will get to everything. If you send a snail mail letter to my PO box, I will get to it eventually. If you like some people, they have my phone number. I text, I do Discord DMs, I do Facebook Messenger, I do Signal, I do Instagram DMs, I might have repeated there, but I will get to everything. As far as from your side, what is the most efficient? I'm probably most efficient at answering Discord DMs, to be honest. I don't like Discord DMs that much because they're not that searchable. As far as like the most professional way and the most searchable way in hindsight, I like emails the best. I like emails the best, but admittedly, if you want to get a hold of me quickly, emails are going to be slower. Emails are nice because you go into your Gmail and you search you search Pietro, you search, and it a decade back. Like I will pull up every email I've ever had with that person. Whereas Discord DMs, it can be a nightmare. It's like, hey, someone sent me a PSA 10 Neo Discovery Umbreon for consignment. Who was it? I can't remember. They didn't enclose a slip. They didn't like let me know ahead of time anywhere. So it's like I gotta search Instagram. I gotta search email. I gotta search Discord. Discord. If I search like Umbreon, I can't see every DM chain where Umbreon was talked about. Whereas if I do it in Instagram or Gmail, it will work. So it's kind of like I'm giving too much transparency. I'm telling people it'll be quickest. I will answer you quickest on Discord, but like I prefer you do email. So do whatever, and I'll eventually answer. Is what the answer is. How about you? I know it was asked towards me, but like I'm sure yours is fairly similar. I know me and you, we text, we Facebook message, we Instagram DM, we Discord DM. It's crazy. We need Woof. We need Woof from The Office, right?
Yes, that's what we need. No, Instagram for me is the best one. Instagram. I finally got rid of Discord, so Discord is just for you now. When I click on the links.
Ooh, I get my own platform now. Look at that. I like that.
Yes.
One place that if you leave a comment on a Pokeflips video, if you leave a comment on a Pokeflips video, that gets lost to the void. I don't think Nick answers them either. I don't look at them ever. I'm logged into Pokeflips on StreamYard. I use OBS for my YouTube channel, but I'm logged into Pokeflips on Firefox, which I never use. I only use it for that. So do you look at or reply to Pokeflips comments or no?
I used to. I haven't done that in so long.
I used to a little bit too. So do not reach out to me on Pokeflips comments. Do not reach out to me on TikTok comments. I will not see those. I will not answer. I am a boomer. I'm actually 50 years old. Yes. I'm bad with Instagram. Like I will answer all my YouTube comments. I think it's clean. It's nice. It's easy to navigate. But Instagram, I don't know. I have a harder time. Like I feel like I don't get notified of all the comments. Sometimes I go through and I try to like a bunch of them. But like it's not as clean as YouTube is for telling me who I have to talk to.
It's easy. You just click on the little notification comment button.
There's just so much random notification crap that like YouTube it puts all the comments in one place. It's comments.
Yeah.
Instagram, it's like this person liked this thing, this person shared your story. It's like give me one spot where these are the people that you need to talk to. These are the reply to these people. And then I would do it more. But it's too much. It's too much, so I can't. Hey Dan, I'm looking to sell. How can I reach you? You can fax me at it's funny. Some of my consigners actually prefer to be paid out in a check. I have like 2 consigners still, I think, that I pay out with a snail mail check. It and I don't mind it. I guess it costs me a little bit more, right? It costs me a 70-cent stamp, but hey guys, if you comment on this video, no one will. Oh, that's funny. Bren, unfortunately, I'm not yet breaking a 7-figure salary. How about you, Nick? Over there, Old School Pokemon.
We're getting there. We're getting there. Yeah. Any day now.
I'm only 1 0 away. I mean, I'm only 1 figure away from a 7-figure salary.
Yeah, exactly.
So. It can't be that hard, right? It's only 1 more 0.
I wonder if anyone actually is in Pokemon. Is anyone making $1 million a year? Outside of like massive businesses like Troll and Toad or whatever. I wonder if like one single seller or a small business is making that much. That is wild.
I will stay vague, but I know of some people crushing like you wouldn't believe. if I were at a different phase in my life, I love my wife, love my kids. By no means is this like any. I would be working 120 plus hour weeks right now. If I were in high school, late high school, early college, bachelor life, I would be. It would be hard to balance with like wanting to have fun and stuff too. But I would be working. It's irresponsible financially to not be working 3 times as much as I'm working. It's absolutely crazy the opportunity out there right now. I would not be surprised if there are maybe not individuals, but like 2 people together. I know of some people who are like a team, and 2 people working 100 plus hour weeks. You can crush right now. It's wild. Yeah. The liquidity, the margins, the everything about this market right now is so bonkers. Java's who is my financials?
Java's one of them.
Who remembers when PokeFlips read the comments to get the week's questions? Now they just talk about me, eBay live consignment, meme questions, and retro shill. Yeah, way back in the day. Coming up on 4 years. We used to leave your question in the comments below. They used to be pre-recorded, all that stuff. I know some people just named me already. Yeah, Mr. Waller's crushing. Long line of resumes in Nick's inbox trying to get in there. Greeny. So here's actually gonna bounce us back to Prismatic. I think there's a couple other questions that I can loop into this segment too. But yeah, Nick only netted 80 can Prismatic. So Nick, it's like a double whammy. This is what blew my mind. Knowing that you weren't going to restock it after you sold it for cheaper than you had to. Like you sold them at 10, right? You're a better man than me, I guess. I'm an evil monster.
Yes. I like it.
But I'm an evil monster who charged, I think it worked out to like $14.80 a pack, and we sold out. So Wednesday before release, I got my product, I got my pallet, I broke it all down. I had 700 packs sent to PK, and I had 400 packs sent to Ponga, and PK sold out by like night 2. PK sold out by night 2 at $15 a pack, and I had restock waves. Like I've bought from the open market. I've bought 3,000 to 4,000 packs at $9 to $10 a piece, because I don't want to sell out. Like I know Mason, CNA Games. He's had this conversation before. It's like some people will watch his video. Oh, what a scalping LGS. What a monster. I see that ETB above his shoulder that's priced 10% above TCG player, or it's either it's a lose-lose. It's like either you sell it for too much and you're a scalper and you're a bad person, or you don't have it in stock and people are mad about that. So it truly is like a fine line to balance. And I would rather have people have the option to buy it, because if people come in, hey, it's release weekend, Prismatic's out, I want to pull a God pack. I saw someone I saw Shining Cards and Collectibles. I saw Bierski pull a God pack. I want to pull a God pack. Oh, KetchumAllCollectibles. I look through your buy it now. There's no Prismatic. They're going to be on to the next stream, spend their money elsewhere. Like I am always of the side that buy or buy. It doesn't have to be for you. You don't have to buy it. It's there as an option, but not having it is just worse to me than scalping, charging too much. Like if it's too much, then don't buy it. I think anything to say about like all that rant?
I think this set was different. Because there was so much emotion with this set about it being too expensive, people not wanting to rip it because it was too much, people not being able to afford it, blah blah blah. And my whole logic was, we're getting packs for $3 a piece. We're literally tripling our money. And so if I can sell them at $10, triple my money, I'm still doing really, really good. But on the flip side, as a consumer, you're getting packs for far cheaper than any other live seller is selling them for. So you're happy. Maybe it convinces. Maybe that. I think TCG Player was like $13 a pack when I decided $10 a pack. So maybe for some people that $3 difference actually made a difference where they could open it up. or they saw my pricing and said, hey, because this guy's offering a good deal, let me pick up a pack to support him. So my whole thing was to make the audience happy, offer them a really good deal on this, to kind of build up an audience, gain a following, offer cheapish packs. And so long term, hopefully people will, when this boom inevitably ends, hopefully in the future, people will look back on that and say, hey, for release night, Nick always has the best pricing. Let me hop into his stream for the next set. And hopefully with these like non-specialty sets, like what's the one coming out? Journey Together. Hopefully that one won't be as allocated as Prismatic. And so I can still offer the best pricing and not have as little product. That's my whole thing is I want people to, I want to build up that long term. And if I'm still making money, I'm not going to make as much money. But if I can still make money and turn through as much inventory that I can get through distribution as possible, that's my whole thing.
Let me take it to the next logical step. As a very crybaby, victim, consumer, true collector, Nick, you opened 1,000 packs in one night. Nick, you bought them for $3 a pack. Nick, you sold them for 10. You made $7,000 in one night. You disgusting capitalist monster. What is wrong with you? Think of the children. You could have sold them for $5. $2,000 profit in one night wasn't enough. That's where, to me, it's like don't hate the player, hate the game. I don't make the rules. I just play by them. Market price is market price. That's how I sleep at night, being such an evil human being I am. It's like the market makes the price. I price based off that. I tell people on PokeFlips. I tell people on YouTube, wherever. I'm rarely the cheapest for anything. I'm rarely going to be the cheapest for anything. A savvy buyer who's only in it to spend the least amount of money should probably shop elsewhere. But every night, PK Ponga go live. We have packs available. If they want to buy them, they can buy them, and they choose to buy them. It's like they know what it is. They know that there's other people that can get them cheaper. They know of TCG Player. They know of Target restocks. Like, I don't know. It's to me, it's like weird how you arrived. Like 10 is a round number. Brains like the round number, but like why not 8? Why not 7? You're a good man.
I'm not gonna go that low. I'm not crazy.
I'll give you, Nick. You're a better man than I, but there are better men than you. I mean, you could have sold it for $6 a pack. You could have sold it for MSRP, right?
Which other streamer? Well, I guess Ryan actually sold for MSRP.
There were some, yeah.
He did the ETBs. I'm excited for you to get on eBay Live. I'm curious to see how pack ripping's going to go there. Because like on Fanatics, yes, you can charge whatever you want, but you're literally the only Pokemon streamer selling packs when you're live. You have other Pokemon streamers that are on during the daytime doing the same thing, but usually when I look on the Pokemon category at night, it's just you. So you have that captive audience.
Like they don't do 9-pack lots. They don't do 36-pack lots. If there are other Pokemon people, they're usually doing like some more obscure bag kind of thing. Like they're just not doing it as 1-to-1. So I fully am conscious of that. And I'm interested to see like, hey, if Nick's live at 8 p.m. Eastern and PK goes live at 8 p.m. Eastern, based off now, again, I'm open, transparent, honest about all this. I'm a lot more expensive than Nick in general. I'm paying, like, I'm trying to make some money. I'm paying people to sell the stuff too. And will people be buying? I don't have my spreadsheet up in front of me, but like what are you at right now on 151?
$10.
You know off the top of your head?
10. Yeah.
Let me see what we're at right now. Like right now on 151, we're at 104. So will people buy from us for what's that work out to? $11.25 maybe? Will people buy from PK or Ponga at $11.25 while Nick is simultaneously live at 10? Maybe, maybe not. we might go to eBay Live and we might just find we can't do it because Nick is there and Weedle's there, and I think we've had this conversation some too. Like, other people are usually higher than you, but they still sell too, right?
Yes. Yep.
So yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how it goes. It'll be interesting to see how it goes as hopefully Fanatics Live grows, as they bring more Pokemon sellers in. They've actually told me that it's like they're making a conscious decision. Just this week, a lot of being memed on this week when I made those. I sent a couple files over to Fanatics of me standing against the background with the base set box, and they made some shorts, they made some reels. They're trying to do more of a Pokemon push. So yeah, going back to the saturation comment, it could get there. It could get there. Things could get dark. Hopefully not. Anyone who caught PK's live last night, maybe we can talk about this for a minute. PK's quitting his job. PK put in his 2 weeks. I had multiple people message me when PK was live, like, hey, how's it going, Fisherman? I hear you got your first full-time employee.
Now, the big question is it an employee now?
No, it's business to business. It's independent contractor, whatever you want to call it. Because I send him product. And he sells it. He sells it his own. Like, he sets up the stream. He does all that. It's all with his equipment, his shipping supplies, all that stuff. Like, per the letter of the law, IRS. I've talked with my accountant. Blah blah blah. All that stuff. It's kosher. But no, like, I'm like part of my thought process, and obviously he didn't like spring that on me. I didn't find out last night. I knew a bit ahead of time that it was coming, but it's a lot. It's a lot mentally for me, knowing that like I was a one-man operation. If I went under, it's like my family would be affected, but to some extent now, like, I'm not going to be his only thing. He's going to up the content. He's going to up his own personal grading, flip plays, things that he used to do himself, but he couldn't do any more the last 3 months because he was streaming for me so much. So, but I still feel some amount of responsibility, similar, I'm sure you do with like Walrus. I'm sure you feel some amount of responsibility towards Walrus's family's financial standing. That like, if you fail, you take him down to some extent too, right? There's definitely some like feeling of responsibility, and there's some additional added stress level due to that.
Yeah, no, for sure. But no, that'll be exciting. That'll be really exciting for you. I'm excited to see what happens with PK and you, and to see how that grows.
Walrus said, "I'm more expensive." Clipped and adding it to eBay intro. Make sure you add this too. I'm more expensive, but PK and Ponga are worth it. PK and Ponga are worth it.
Gross.
And Ponga doesn't have kids, but he has a very nice dog. He has a few very nice cats. So add pictures of the little cute faces. Add pictures of PK's cute kids' little faces. I think he's got a dog too. So make sure you get the full clip. Take the full clip. I'm more expensive, but PK and Ponga are worth it. And then the little smiling faces go up. Appreciate that, Alex. And then Ponga says, "Appreciate you, Dan. At least someone appreciates people who fill their pocket." Walrus says, "It's the opposite now. I feel responsibility to keep Nick afloat. I'm so valuable." That's funny. Continuing on. Let's see. Dote says, "My kid's already an evil scalper. He's on board with flipping enough to Dan to make our remaining packs free to open."
I like it.
I've actually had a couple of people local to me have sold me packs, and one of them, they specifically told me, they're like, "Hey, I found 10 ETBs in the wild. I am selling you half, essentially, a little bit more than half. I'm selling you 2/3 of them so that I can keep the 1/3 for free." Like that's what I used to do. But when I started back in 2014 with $5 grand, I used to literally buy a big collection, sell off until I could keep everything I wanted from it for free. So I would buy a big lot, sell off all the stuff I didn't want, and then I had that for free, and then I had that for free, and it snowballed over time to everything I have today.
That is the way to do it. That is the way to do it right there.
Pokemartin's actually got a really good question. Dan, if you got a 20% premium to open packs yourself on stream, would you do it? 20%'s a lot. 20%'s a lot. In the average night, they're streaming 3, 4, 5 grand, right? Like we're doing a little bit over 100K. I guess it works out to maybe like 4 grand a night. Doing 120K in a month, 4 grand a night. So if I can just get an extra $800, just pure like net profit, $800 a night, that's a lot of money. I'm glad that's not the situation. And I know it never will be the situation. I'm not that entertaining. I'm not that worth it. But if I was, I would have a hard time not doing it more. And right now I'm doing it 0 because I just don't think there's any premium there for me. But yeah, I probably would. I probably would do it at least once, twice a week. I would probably drop the YouTube live streams to just do, hey, let me, instead of making $10 in membership gifts and stuff, let me go make $1,000 selling some packs. But I just it's not the case. It's never going to be the case, and I'm not mad about that. I'm very happy doing what I'm doing the way I'm doing it. Chat BN says, Pongo, when are you going to leave Dan and make money for yourself? I hope, and I'm quite confident PK and Pongo would say this, we're in a very great win-win situation. I think Chat BN is mostly memeing, but there's people out there that would be like, Dan's probably making way too much money. Why would PK Pongo do that, not do it themselves? I think we have quite the win-win relationship set up where I'm taking the capital risk. I'm taking the time sourcing and getting the inventory to them. And they just turn the stream on. They rip packs, have a good time, make really good money doing it. They ship the stuff the next day, a little bit of customer service, answering the messages and stuff. But like they show up, they make a very good hourly wage. I'm not going to say what the number is, but like PK just quit a high paying engineering job. PK had a higher paying engineering job than I ever had. And he's quitting that to his primary source of income in the short term is streaming for me. And I don't know if he'll expand, do other things. But PK and Ponga, they're both fully open. I would hope they would give me some courtesy, give me some like time, give me some notice so that I could fill in. I could fill in with someone else. But they're free agents. They are not under contract. They are independent contractors. They are free to come and go as they please. So yeah, I know it was mostly like a meme comment, but I think it's an actual interesting conversation. I've had a lot of people reach out to me asking, curious about like, what do you pay your streamers? I run a stream myself. I'm thinking of hiring other people. And it's just like a very personal case by case situation. Like you need to, what I pay Ponga, what I pay PK isn't necessarily that relevant to what other people could or should do. Right. It all comes down to the numbers. It all comes down to the math of what you can afford to do. And there's an alternate reality where we're about 100 days in now, a little bit over 100 days in. There's an alternate reality where we had the buy it now packs there and people weren't buying them. There's an alternate reality where the auctions were getting half of what they've gotten. Like there's an alternate world where the market wasn't booming the way that it has so far. And we've already closed up shop. I didn't ever anticipate a situation where we'd go less than 90 days. I think I always would have given it at least 90 days. But like there are alternate realities where it didn't work out and we're done and it's over. And I'm back to primarily eBay and whatever else. Like who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah. 20% would be nuts. Definitely not worthy of that premium. Nice to see you in here, Radar. I do have to do the obligatory. It's a segment of every episode.
Are you ever going to sell that thing?
I'm always going to have one. I will always have the one, my Shrine to Bragi cards right there. I will always keep at least one copy by my side. Needed. Like best play of all time.
Yeah, that worked out very well. How many are you down to? Have you sold the majority of them?
We still have 100 at grading. I think we have 85 at PSA. 85 at PSA. That's still in research and ID from
really
November. Yeah.
Jeez.
So I'm not a tracker checker, but I actually So you remember when I went to Chicago and I went for a wedding, my buddy's wedding? He actually asked me recently. He's like, "Hey, when are the cards coming back? Like, have they got their grades yet?" So I went and I checked, and I have one submission that has 85 gray felt hats, and it has like 10 of his cards in it, and then it has a handful of other stuff. But yeah, TCG bulk, November 11th, 2024, and it's in research and ID. I had like 5 or 6 same service level, similar submission sizes that were in after that. I mean, PSA, FIFO does not mean first in, first out to PSA. It means first in, F off, apparently. It's mind-blowing that they don't do some amount of FIFO, so that they don't do some amount of the earlier ones that are in. I know Nat has been quoted as saying, so many of these things are fringe cases. Nat, I promise you, this is not a fringe case. You've graded 30,000 plus of these. You know what it is. You know how to grade it. That is not a fringe case. Give me my cards back. Tracker checkers unite. Dan reading the tracker on a podcast. That is, add it to the pile of top signals. We have had nothing but top signals the past last May, my dad started investing in Pokemon by the pallet, and since then it's been 8 straight months of top signals, and somehow we're still going higher.
That is true. That is true.
Talking about submitting though, so I'll take this one that's fresh, and I will get back to all the good questions. But me personally, no. Actually, the closest GameStop to me apparently got hit by the recent wave of closures. Mine's closed. There's one that's like, it's only 5 minutes further in the different direction. So like, I still have one relatively close, but I don't go to that city very much. The one that is like near my bank, the one that is nearby where places that we go grocery shopping and stuff, that one's gone. But I'm not personally looking into. But to be honest, I'm not grading that many cards right now. I'm mostly focused on sourcing for the live stream, so I haven't even graded a whole lot recently. Are you grading with GameStop now, or?
No, I'll keep doing it myself. Same thing, but I'm not like you. I'm not grading much through PSA at all. And then I'm also doing like middlemanning. If people pull something in the live stream or buy something in the live stream, I'm grading it for them. So I would feel bad sending all that stuff to GameStop. So no, I'm not doing it. But yes, in quotation marks myself. But I think it definitely makes sense for people to do it, because it is a good bit cheaper. $15 versus $8. So I can definitely see it, and I think GameStop's that's a really, really good move for GameStop is the partnership with PSA. I think that's going to get a lot bigger moving forward.
Yeah, I'm interested to see. I know there's been a lot of theorizing about, is GameStop going to become like I know it's a little bit oxymoronic, but like a national local game store, a national LGS chain of sorts. With all the shift of video games being like digital downloads, it's like back in the day, you used to go to the mall, you used to go wherever, people would camp out overnight waiting for the new Halo game to come out, the new whatever game to come out. Now it's like, you can do that still, but then you're gonna be playing it 6 hours later, 8 hours, 10 hours later than everyone else who just downloaded the digital one and then can play it at midnight. Yep. So yeah, very interesting what GameStop's going on with like a big business pivot potentially.
It is. I think that's gonna be really good for them. Speaking of pivots, did you see Collecticon is starting the anime con?
I didn't see that. No.
They're starting like a Japanese anime con. There's not much information about it, but it's like whatever it's called, Japanese Anime Con or whatever it's called, partner with Collecticon, and they're both the same company, because like all their like Instagram posts look exactly the same, their website looks exactly the same. But I thought that was strange that they're starting something different. Whether or not it'll be like the same time and the same weekend, just in a different hall as Collecticon, or if it'll actually be different weekends and different locations. I was so confused by that. Why not just make Collecticon bigger? It'll be interesting to see what that's all about.
Yeah. It's not surprising, I guess, with how thoroughly they're crushing it with Collecticon. I can't imagine how much money they're making, and presumably they're having a good time doing it too. You see them at all the conventions, and it so wild. Market is booming. Yeah, UAP. We were 2 hours early today, actually. Nick has some family visiting shortly, and I also have to go. I have to head to Connecticut this afternoon. So we're going to be wrapping up in 50 minutes ish. We're going to be wrapping up at about 2 hours at 1 p.m. Eastern. So we got a few different questions here. I'll try to take in chunks that blend well. But regarding Fanatics and eBay Live, like, you and I are both on restricted platforms that are not wide open to the public. Whatnot is, like, hands down the winner as far as consumer volume, the amount of eyes, the amount of advertising. I think, like, how fluid the process is too, how like clean the back end is, how streamlined it all is. But Dote wants to know, do Fanatics or eBay Live give you any back end data on consumers, like demographics, if they're repeat customers, etc.? Wonder how many are one-offs with credits to burn versus repeat buyers. If you want to go first.
We get a limited back end metrics. Like, we can see what your peak viewership was, how many new followers you got, how long do people stay in the stream on average, stuff like that. What your total sales were, stuff like that. But as far as like individual, okay, how many total buyers did you have? How many of those are repeat buyers versus new buyers? Stuff like that. That we can't see, at least on eBay. But I would say that the vast majority of buyers on eBay are repeat buyers. They'll come in one stream, find out about it, and then they'll come back and they'll buy more often. Obviously, you do have those people who buy one thing and then never come back, but for the vast majority of people, it's a core audience that you slowly build up, and obviously new people come in. But yeah, no, there's still people that have been in with me since the very beginning that'll still come in quite regularly. There's still people that have been in the beginning that'll still buy stuff quite regularly. Obviously, a portion of them have also the opposites happen, where a portion of them were in with me in the beginning, and then I haven't seen them since, so they've left. But it is a really solid foundation of repeat buyers.
Yeah, so as far as Fanatics backend goes, one metric that they give like the top 20 lifetime buyers, and they show how much they've spent overall. They show how many shows they've been in overall, and they show how many orders they've done. So some of our like whales, I know that we've done around 110 shows. There are some people on this list that have been in 80, 90 of our 110 shows. Like, we have some regulars. We have some real strong regulars. I don't like, presumably I can only see the top 20 here. Presumably they would have on the back end, and I could probably like piecemeal it together somehow from my stream data exports. But I also can see if people are new. I can see if people are using the Ketchum 20 credit. I can see if people are using the $25 referral credit. So I do have, I don't think, like, I've never used Whatnot, but I believe it's not nearly as extensive as Whatnot. It sounds like it's a little bit more extensive than what eBay gives you. I guess I'll be able to speak to that more confidently in the coming months. But
months?
That's the way that well, like,
I thought it was weeks.
We might be joining it in weeks to a month, but like, I will want to get a month or 2 months worth of data to like be able to say well. And I'm sure PK will be talking about that a lot on his weekly podcast things, and maybe Ponga will talk about it some if he bridges over to eBay Live. But Ponga might just stay living on Fanatics. PK might use going full time to like do more of the bridging over to eBay Live, adding a third streamer potentially, which will be, I had this conversation with PK. PK heard me last week talking my video about adding a third streamer. And he's like, whoa, like the 2-week notice is going in, pump the brakes a little bit. And I'm like, PK, not that I was being dishonest with my following, but I had to talk a little bit differently, as if I didn't know PK was going to do that for that video. Like, I couldn't just say, okay, PK hasn't announced it yet, but he's actually going full time soon, so the third streamer might be like delayed a little bit. But as far as like now that it's out in the open, that's actually likely factual. The third streamer will still happen at some point, but I need to see what the new equilibrium will be. Like, I have in my mind, I have a pretty good idea of what our last 90 days were. I know that Ponga's live Sundays and Thursdays, and PK's live every other night, and we had a good flow with everything. But now that PK is going full time and wanting to try out adding eBay Live, and it's like I need to go for at least a month and just figure out what this new normal will be. And I need to see what slots would be available, where and how a third streamer would best fit in. So yeah, PK going full time definitely shakes that up a little bit in a good way. I think it just delays it a little bit. It kicks the can down the road a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, you're basically getting a third streamer with him going full time. It's just him as 2 streamers and Ponga is still at 1.
Yeah, and I think
But
what
like,
he was doing was like,
what was that?
We had the conversation. Like, I remember having the conversation with you a little bit. I remember having the conversation with some other people a little bit. Like, I can't believe PK having a family, having like a full-time job. I can't believe how hard he's going. And
yeah,
I like, he talked about it openly in live streams as of like a month ago. He's like, I'm contemplating, I'm considering, and it still came as a surprise to me the day that he called me and he's like, I'm going to put my 2 weeks notice in soon. It's still like, I knew he was considering it, but part of me, like, now it's obvious. Now, if you go back in your mind, you go back to when we launched in October, it's kind of obvious why PK was grinding and doing 5 nights a week, and he wasn't sleeping much. And he was just like, he wanted to prove to himself, to his family, I'm sure too, to some extent, he wanted to prove that it was doable. And he was in the short term kind of doing something very unsustainable. I don't think he could have done that for the next 10 years. I don't think he could have been his full-time job plus family life plus social life plus like streaming 5 nights a week the way that he was. But it's
absolutely
good.
not.
I'm sure he's glad that he did it those 100-ish days. I'm sure he's glad that he really grinded it out, got through it, and now he's out the other side. Like, he's going to be full-time, more free, being his own boss, all that good stuff.
Yeah, no, it'll be awesome. It'll be awesome. Yeah, no, I did it for 6 months, and I snapped at the end there. It's way too much.
Yeah, I could never. Galaxy can confirm 5 nights a week and having a full-time job is not sustainable. I know I could never do it. Back before we had kids, I am no stranger. I've done it in my life. I've done 100-hour weeks. Back in my early days, pre-kids, 2014 to 2017. I was full-time engineer. I was working 50 plus hour weeks. There were times, especially 2016. The 2016 boom wasn't anything like the 2020 boom, but it was still pretty big. There were some weeks that I was doing 50 hours of Pokemon on the side, 50 hours of engineering straight up. And I was grinding it out to like take advantage of the opportunity that was there. As I said earlier, if I was at like a different time in my life, I would be working way more than I'm working right now to take advantage of this opportunity. It's not going to be like this forever. And if you have the time to do it, now's the time to grind 80, 100-hour weeks if you can. Like, I know Alex has talked about this a little bit. Nostalgianomics was in here earlier. He's talked about how he he's going live. He was doing one night a week on YouTube. And now he's doing like 3-4 nights a week, I believe, because it's there. It might not be there forever. And it's like, if it does end up there forever, I guess he still won't be mad about taking advantage of it earlier and getting debt paid down, getting savings built up, whatever a combination of things, or just living larger. I'm not speaking towards him here. Like, whatever you want to do personally with that extra cash flow, if it's there.
Yeah. Yeah. I started, I added Thursday. I just started this yesterday. I added Thursday daytime streams, and it went well. I want to give it a few more weeks, and then I think I'm going to add Tuesday daytime as well.
Was it mostly singles or was it pack rips?
I did all auctions, 2 hours worth of auctions.
And prices didn't seem to suffer that much.
No, it actually went a lot better than I thought it would. Because I tried daytime. I forget when I tried it the first time, and I did it for a few weeks, and it was absolutely terrible. But now that there's more people on eBay Live, there's more Pokemon streamers during the daytime. It actually went well. There was still less viewers. Like I typically get for my auction portions of the stream, typically like 60 to 70 active viewers. Whereas during the daytime it was around 40, 45. So it was still less viewers. But it was also my first one. So I'll be able to build that up a little bit more. But yeah, viewership was good. Pricing was pretty solid. I was happy with how things went. So I'm definitely going to continue that. So add Thursday daytime, give that a few weeks, and then add Tuesday daytime. So that'll be 7 streams a week.
PK, if you're listening out there, you better snag the daytimes that you want on eBay Live before Nick takes them.
That's exactly why I started this week too. That is exactly why. Because when you said you were getting started with eBay soon, I want to nail down those time slots.
See, Nick is a friend of mine. I'm giving him privileged information, and he's using that to damage me. Like he's trying to play all innocent. Oh, Mr. Selling packs for market. I'm selling them for $10 over here. Meanwhile, he's got a knife stabbing into my back, taking all the insider info. Like I told you that in confidence, Nick. I was trying to like just be friendly. Man, business is no friendships in business. Oh man, no, I as you said, look at Whatnot. Look at the amount of people that have multi-hundred view streams. The hope, the thought, the plan is that Fanatics and eBay Live will grow to those levels too, and there's room for more than one person to be live at a time. Yeah. I do my best actually. When I go live, I go live usually Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. I change it up every week. I try to not overlap with Java. I try to not overlap with Box Nostalgia. I try to not overlap with anybody, but there's just times where it's like, sorry guys, I just, this guy's at 8, this guy's at 9, this guy's at 10. It's like, you got to just have overlap at times. There's no way around it. There's no way around it. But yeah, I'm excited to see how the transition over to eBay Live goes. And I know there was more questions. So we did the back-end data on consumers. eBay Live does a horrible job at pushing your stream. I have to go to your IG view, your story, and click your link every time. I think that's one thing about Fanatics that is more streamlined because it's a separate app. So Fanatics Collect exists and Fanatics Live exists. Distinct apps. I don't know if eBay... I could see an argument for both. I could see an argument for like there are tens of millions or hundreds of million people with eBay installed, that app. If they create a separate app, they're going to lose all the people that are already there. But maybe good advertisement. Hey, like if eBay with hundreds of millions of users or tens of millions, however many it is, if they said like, hey, here's a big pop-up, push notification to everybody. Here's eBay Live. Here's a new app where you can buy in a new format, do a little bit of education, do a nice YouTube short, Instagram reel, all that stuff. Here's $25 to go shop with somebody. They could have so many people at the click of a couple buttons. But like I've had these conversations with Fanatics too on the back end is like they don't want to bring in more consumers. Well, like scaling is an interesting process because you can't flood with only consumers when you don't have sellers. Because you don't want to send in 5 million consumers with a $25 credit and then literally the 35 people that are live just all get bogged down and they can't physically like service that amount of consumers. And then the same way as the other way, you don't want to open up the floodgates on sellers. I think Fanatics at the time that I joined, I want to say there was like 175 sellers. I was like the 175th seller. Right now, maybe there's 180, 190. I don't know the exact numbers, but you don't want to open up the floodgates take 1,000 seller applications, and then you've still only got a few hundred, couple thousand consumers all at once, and you've got like you've got 10 streamers per one consumer or something. So like it actually is a very difficult balance figuring out how to scale it sustainably and properly.
Mhm.
But that said, like I'm not trying to let them entirely off the hook. I'm a little bit disappointed with and it's easier for me to say it because I'm not there making money yet. But I'm outside looking in. I'm disappointed with how little progress eBay Live has seemingly made. And Fanatics too. Like there are certain things that we've requested. Some things are changing. Some things are coming in slower than I would like overall. But that's part of going with the smaller closed system selling platforms when Whatnot's there. It's like I can't complain too much because ultimately at the end of the day, if I wanted to, I could just go to Whatnot. I could take my business elsewhere, and Nick could too. So,
yeah, and I do agree. They do move very, very slow. That's always been something that's been a pain point for me. Is just how slow they move. But going out to eBay headquarters, whenever that was in October, it makes more sense why it's like any big business, all the bureaucracy and how like every decision has to go up a chain of command, and it's not the live aspect of eBay is so small compared to eBay in general. So it does make a lot more sense now, but I do agree. Whereas like Whatnot is just a live platform. So it makes more sense of how quickly they moved. And Fanatics is a collectibles platform. I feel like collectibles is like a big live aspect, or has a big live aspect to it. So it makes sense that they're moving quicker. eBay is everything. So it kind of makes a little bit of sense. Yeah. But yes, it is definitely frustrating how slowly they move.
Yeah. As I said, it's to be fair to them, but not to give them too much leeway. Like be better, eBay, be better, Fanatics, be better, Whatnot. Like all of them could be better, but they actually do have like a fairly difficult task, I would say. Walrus wants to know, is Fanatics okay with losing their best streamer PK to eBay Live? Surprised they didn't put a ring on it. I think all of them to some extent will have different promos. I think they'll have, like, I know a lot of people talk about Whatnot free selling fees for the first 30 days. I know eBay has different deals. Fanatics has had different promotions and things like that, but they all fluctuate. eBay is one that it's actually interesting to see, like Burbank sports cards. Didn't Fanatics poach them off eBay? They used to presumably be eBay exclusive, and Fanatics got them over there. Like that's the warehouse with like the 20 million singles or whatever.
Yep.
It is interesting to see how they will navigate contracting out like the big sellers. Nick and I are way many tiers below something of that level, but it is interesting to kind of just follow along each platform's journey and how they're going through it. And one thing I like about Fanatics, like I do have the consignment service, I have the good rates to offer for that. They didn't require like, hey, if you're going to work with us, you got to drop eBay, you got to drop this, that. Fanatics Collect, Fanatics Live, they're allowing me to do certain things with eBay Live. But who knows, down the line that could change. There might come a day where, hey, Dan, you're doing this volume, or you're doing this, you're doing that. A lot of times I like the idea of being hedged against one platform, like TikTok. If you were only on TikTok, you almost just lost everything. It ended up getting saved. It ended up coming back, but you almost just lost everything. You almost lost your entire business, your entire following, your entire income. So, but there are times, usually the people at the highest levels, like Probstein, almost surely he's locked down exclusively to eBay. DC Sports, Z&G Emporium in our own space. Those people likely have contractual obligations where if you're going to get the best rates with us, you're not going to be screwing around with anyone else. You're going to be, we're going to the whole put a ring on it. Like that does happen at the highest levels usually. So maybe I get there. Maybe I get there and someday it's like, hey, We tried eBay Live. We did it for 90 days. We did it for 2 years, but we're dropping it off. I probably won't be able to tell you, but if I ever do that down the line, and I don't tell you why, it's probably because I have an exclusive contract with Fanatics. If I do tell you why, and I just say like, oh, eBay was crap, Fanatics was way better, so that's why we did it. Like I will tell you if I will tell you, and if I can't tell you, it's probably some kind of an exclusivity agreement.
Mm-hmm.
Java says eBay Live's backend is pure garbage. Had firsthand experience with it recently. Hot, steamy garbage.
See, I don't know about that. Because, like, it's the same as shipping regular eBay orders. Sure, it's not instant payment.
Like you did Whatnot and you did eBay. Give us like I've seen, and I've done a test stream in eBay and I've done a test stream in Fanatics. But to be fair, like I did one stream in Fanatics one time. I'm not the one doing it every day like PK Ponga. My initial comparison between eBay Live and Fanatics is cleaner. What are your initial impressions like eBay Live versus Whatnot?
So the instant payment, that is something that that it is coming. I don't necessarily, it'll be interesting to see how they roll it out. I don't get that aspect, but it is nice having instant payment, being able to sell stuff one night, ship it out the next night. But, aside from that, I think it's basically the same, because it is a little bit cleaner, because I assume like Whatnot, you print the packing slip, and then the next label is your actual label. So you just print all that stuff off, and then you can look at the packing slip, say, hey, this person bought card number 2, 5, 10, 15. So you have all that stuff printed out. Whereas eBay, you're actually looking at your computer screen and saying, okay, this guy has 5 different orders, but I have everything sorted by buyer, so I can see that one guy has 5 different orders. So I'll grab those 5 cards and then print out the labels after that. I don't know. I do think it's a little bit cleaner, but I don't think eBay is bad.
And I know Fanatics like Whatnot has, you click when a stream ends, if you just sold 200 items, like we're probably going to sell tomorrow night, you click one button, you have your scan form, you have all your things all grouped automatically, and it just says like Bob bought lots 2, 7, 36, 54, and then you put them all, like it is super clean on the back end for Fanatics. But like as far as people wouldn't see this on the outside, one issue that they've had recurring over the past few months that we've been trying to get them to fix is if someone uses credit, it shows as like a $0 order, so it doesn't properly like check whatever boxes that the system is looking for. It doesn't get added to the chat. So if someone uses the Ketchum 20 to buy a $20 like Evolutions pack shipped sealed, it sees it as a $0 order. It doesn't pop up in the chat. And there's times where like Ponga or PK have to do a very manual process of like ensuring line by line who bought what and when, so that they're not, because when you're at the potential of pulling like a God pack, you don't want someone getting a thing out of order from the way that it was initially purchased, right? Like you want to ensure those things are all done sequentially. Otherwise, yeah, you could have salty people.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ponga says when you're part-time, having to wait for payment is everything. I don't have the time to wait for payment to ship. That's definitely one concern. And I've had this conversation with PK already. I'm sure we'll have it more this weekend. But like one nice clean thing is, at the end of the stream, boom, I just sold 100 lots. These are all shippable. These are all ready to go. We have money in pocket for them. Whereas with eBay, it's like, oh, well, these 70 are good to go. And then Tuesday comes along and, oh, well, hey, I bought one back on Sunday. Can you put these together? Now you have to have a staging area for your orders. Like here's Sunday's orders, 20 still left to ship. Here's Monday's orders. Here's Tuesday orders. Well, Bob, he bought one each night and he wants a nice invoice at the end. And, oh, well, eBay's automated unpaid system actually canceled the Sunday's order. So that like, I'm a little bit worried for all that kind of stuff. And then say Ponga does start doing eBay Live, or say Streamer 3 does eBay Live as well. Now someone buys on Monday from PK. They buy on Tuesday from Streamer 3. They're physically in different locations. We can't combine those things. I'll have to figure out like SKUs, there'll be a SKU for PK, there'll be a SKU for Ponga, a SKU for Streamer 3. And I think I could create a rule where it wouldn't allow them to be grouped. Like, because you can put item location. Like right now, as of today, I fulfill a bunch of random items on my eBay, and Retro fulfills some. Actually, now that I say that, I was just going to say something that doesn't make sense, because I show the item location for my items as New York. I show the item location for Retro's items as Washington. But there are people that are buying a box and a slab, and then it's like, oh, well, you ship this, I'll ship that. Like, it is kind of an annoyance.
Yeah. Hopefully there's a way where you can say you can't do that. There's got to be something.
And if there was, I've been suboptimally operating for the past. We've been doing that since May. Me and Retro.
I'm sure it's not as big of an issue as it's going to be.
It's probably come up 6 times. It's probably come up 1 time a month, and it's just like, you ship this one, you ship this one, good to go. A couple messages and it's done. But if we're selling 100 a night, and that's going to be a lot different story. So I'm still learning as I go, still navigating, figuring it out as we go along.
And did you read the whatever it's called about auto payment on eBay auctions?
I think they've been piloting it. There's been a couple times where I've sent offers and they told me, like, hey, if the seller accepts this, we are going to charge your card as it's accepted. Because it used to be like, you send an offer, they'd accept it, and then it would go into your purchases and you'd have to pay. But there's been times where I've bid on auctions and it said, if you win, we're going to charge it. I've sent offers, and it's happened some, but I think they started piloting that like a year ago now, or maybe several months ago at least, I think, and it's still not all the way rolled out.
Yeah, no, they're starting a more serious. They sent it's in the newsletter or whatever. They're gonna give people 7 days to combine orders, which that seems way too excessive.
That sounds
I don't like that at all.
You'd have to have a whole separate shelf, a whole separate staging area.
Yeah, exactly.
With Sunday through Saturday.
Yeah.
And you just have to carry over. And it's going to be a nightmare. Then people are going to lose track. And they're going to be like, oh, well, eBay canceled on me unpaid. Can you release it as a buy it now so I can buy it? It's like, I don't want to do any of that kind of stuff. No. And I guess, to be fair, like, it would be PK, it would be Ponga doing it. It would be the streamer doing it. But I don't want them to have miserable times either. I can't imagine Ponga's like
names.
Ponga's like, eBay is all yours, PK. Yeah, he's excited to try it. I'm excited for him to try it too. Like, I hope it goes well. I'm rooting for it to work. Having PK live on eBay while Ponga's live on Fanatics, that sounds great to me. It's like, hey, instead of grossing 4K in sales, gross 8K in sales.
Yeah.
But like, I'm excited. 2-3 months from now, 2-3 years from now, PK should be one of our foremost experts on, like, you've put in the most hours cumulatively of anyone else on eBay Live and Fanatics. Like, give us the breakdown. Let us know what's up. And I'm sure he'll be providing feedback to eBay, to Fanatics, to like try to help them both improve too along the way.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. It's just logistics. Everything has a solution. Y'all need to chill. I mean, not everything has a reasonable, elegant solution. Sometimes the solutions are very, very manual, tedious, a big pain in the butt.
Yes.
But we are going to be here for approximately 20 more minutes. We need to start firing through some of these. Actually, we don't have that many. I think we only have 5 more starred. But
5 more in 20 minutes with the way you rant? That's a lot of questions.
I know. I need to be
question. It's like 10 questions in one.
Relative value assessments can be fun. Would you rather have A, first base Alakazam PSA 8, 2 base Shadowless Alakazam PSA 8, or a 10 base unlimited PSA 8? Can you extend this to other vintage? So I personally would rather have the base first PSA 8. It's first edition. It's likely printed substantially less. To cheat, I always like to cheat in these questions. I would rather have the most clean 8. That is like there are PSA 8 base first edition Alakazams that are cleaner than some PSA 10 base first Alakazam. So I would want the cleanest 8, and I would presume like the 10 NC. It's probably not even a real PSA 10. There's a lot of them.
Okay, but your 8 is a
so my 8's clean, the 10's garbage.
10 quality, but the actual 10's an 8 quality.
So A wins in a landslide in my manufactured scenario.
Oh man. Yeah, no, I would agree with you on that one. I like the idea of Shadowless the best, but if we're talking value, investing, first base, everyone knows first edition. Nobody knows Shadowless. You gotta be deep down the rabbit hole to know Shadowless. And then there's just far less first base cards than there are unlimited cards.
And in the interest of not answering a question in 90 seconds, I'm going to add a little bit more nuance here, add a little bit more story. I used to be like a quantity over quality guy. I used to be a PSA 9 collector. It's where I found the most value. These days, what card prices have done, the market values almost everything universally more than I do. I like binders. I like binders more than anything. So to cheat even further, I would rather just have a nice, clean, raw copy. Like if I actually am proposed with a value proposition of like, what would you optimally have, optimal collecting value to you relative to the market? It's always the raw card. Like the market is just bonkers on how they value graded cards, in my opinion.
Well, are we talking? I thought we were talking like, what's the best value? Not what would we? Because if we're talking, what would I rather have as a collector? I'm going Shadowless.
I mean, it literally says, "Would you rather have?"
Well, are we talking? Am I investing or am I collecting here?
That's where more nuance comes up too. It's like, yeah, I don't know. I guess you could answer in any which way, but I would rather have A. But better than that, I would rather have D, which is a raw base first Alakazam. Going way off script here.
So my answer is going to change to A if we're investing, B if we're collecting.
Let's see. How do you guys feel about the Chinese market releasing limited to a specific number promo card? And would you like to see that type of release come to Japanese or English? I want serialized cards. Gimme. I bought the Magic 30th. I bought like the limited quantity, not serialized, but like rare, low print run. I have a Master Ball behind me, numbered to 5,000. The Bear Walker stuff, like Pokemon is already serialized watches. They've serialized watches, Master Balls. They've serialized 2.5 inch by 3.5 inch cardboard rectangles. They just haven't done a TCG one yet. I think long enough timeline they will. I think they'll only reach for that when they need to. So there will be like dark times between now and then. But I think that will save the hobby as it saves sports cards. And I'm ready for it whenever. I want a $10 million Pokemon card. Move aside Honus Wagner, move aside Mickey Mantle. Charizard's coming to play.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what that Mew is going to sell for, or what they will sell for. Really popular Pokemon, really good artwork, only limited to, what is it, 1,500, something like that.
1,120 is what's
yeah,
coming to mind. I feel like it was an
yeah.
oddball number. I think I just read it on Discord before we went live here.
I'm really curious to see what those go for. That'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, but I think it's cool. There's a lot of cards out there that have 1,000 or less distributed, and I like serialization so that it forces Pokemon to like deal with this extra copy. I don't know if I'd call it an epidemic, right? But like illustrators, there's supposedly 39 out there. At one point there was 4, and then 7, and then 9, and then 11, and then 13, and then 39. Well, there's over like 50 graded between the different companies. So I like the thought that, hey, if there's 2 Mews that are number 69, the market's going to see that, and the market's going to like have a problem with that. I used to own Pikachu trophy cards. They were theoretically distributed only 6 per year, per placement per year. There were extra copies though. I like the hard numbering so that they can't do that. The Art Academies I used to own, I wish they were hard numbered. I wish they were numbered 1 to 100 so the extra copies would be known and that they couldn't be a thing. But yeah, it's all interesting. The hard numbering has some cons, but I think more pros than cons personally. Garochu says, do you guys regret selling anything in the past year before the boom? Sold my Bubble Mew in December for 600 cash. I was into it for 100, felt overvalued at 600, but clearly I was wrong. Not that you were necessarily wrong. The market just turned out to be like crazier than you realized. You made the best decision you could for yourself at the time. You made a value determination on the card and you moved it along. I'm going to grab the card that I always grab. It's like John and I, we expected this card to be $300 when we made our play in a PSA 10. We ended up selling some at 400, 450, 500. Like, I can't wait to make the video. I can't wait until the whole thing is in hindsight because, well, one, I'll have a big pile of money with how crazy it's gone. But like, two, we will likely capture the whole ride up and we'll likely capture some of the ride down. And seeing that we sold 350, 455, 556. Like I kind of did that with the EVs, with the Pikachus. I did that with the Evolutions boxes years ago too. But you can't regret it. You can't spend time looking in the rearview mirror because you made the best decision that you could have at the time. And hopefully, and in my case, it was always a thing. Hopefully you put it into something else that did well for you too. Like I sold my PSA 9 complete gold star set. I would need to look back. I think I remember who I sold that to, and unfortunately, I think he just lost a lot of his collection in the California fires. Maybe it wasn't him though, but I sold my complete PSA 9 Gold Star set for $13,000 in 2020, early 2020, and I mean, clearly it affected me to some extent because I still remember that I did it, and I still remember the price. But where that 13 grand went, I picked up the #1 trophy for 20. With all the festivals, with all the stuff, the champion stamp all the way on down. So I did even better with that #1 than I would have done in hindsight. And it's not always going to be the case. You're never going to time the perfect tops. You're never going to time the perfect bottoms. Do the best you can do. And as long as you were doing reasonable, rational things otherwise, even if they didn't pan out, like you can't judge the correctness of a decision based solely on the outcome. You can't say I bought a Powerball and I won, or I like Nick and I both play blackjack some. You can't hit 16 against 6, pull a 5 and say it was the right call. You got lucky. You made objectively the wrong decision. You got lucky and you made money, but it was still the wrong call. So as long and there's times where you have 17 against the 6, you don't hit, the next card comes up a 4, which would have made you 21, and then the dealer gets 410 and they get 21 and you had 17 and you lose. You made the right call. The outcome wasn't correct, but the decision was. That's all you can do. Make the right decisions and don't judge them based on their outcomes.
Yeah. Don't dwell on the past. Because if you look long enough back, there's very few things that you should have ever sold. I should have only bought from 2009 until 2020. And then sold everything in 2020 boom, and then only bought from 2021 until right now. And you can't run a business like that.
No.
So there's a ton of stuff that I'm sure everyone regrets selling. But like Dan said, look at what you did with that money, and look at how much bigger your business is. Like with me, the lives have completely changed my business. And if I wasn't selling, then the lives would not be possible.
Yep. Yeah. Garen says he dumped his PC ETBs 2 months before everything boomed. Have a short memory and keep it pushing. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. What's the one thing you would change about the hobby right now? You got something? You want to go first?
One thing I have to think about that for a second. I guess people's attitudes. That's what I would say. There's just so much negativity. It's annoying. I can't stand it, and I think part of that would be so people's attitudes, and then Pokemon printing more. I don't get why there's so little product out there. And Japan can do such a better job of doing reprints. And,
right now, though, they can. Last year, it was inverted. Last year, Japan was expensive and English was all cheap. So it's like Japan is not doing things perfectly.
I
They're doing
think
it better
Japan's
right
doing a
now.
lot better. Because
It ebbs
what's
and flows.
expensive for? Well, I don't know. Because like Japan, what's expensive? Like 151. What
I
what
bought
other
Shiny
set besides
Treasure.
151 went up?
I bought Shiny
that-
Treasure early on for $70 because that's what it was, because they couldn't make enough of it, and they've beat it down into the ground. Now it's kind of actually popping up again.
Mhm.
But a year ago, roughly a year ago, Japan and English were inverted. English was everywhere. They were on Costco floors, not being bought, and a lot of boxes around 100. And then it just goes through seasonalities. And one thing that I'll say, people talking about eBay Live, giving them some allowance for, like, they actually have difficult things to do. Pokemon has a very difficult task of figuring out how to print the right amount of product. If they print too much, they could kill it. People, demand is so high that no amount of supply. Shut up. That's so dumb. That's so wrong. Like, if you literally, if you inserted a God pack into everyone's hand tomorrow, like, I make the meme. Oh, the pop's only 30,000. There's 8 billion people on the planet. If you literally made 8 billion of them, give them to everyone, the value that's going to go to nothing. Like, literally nothing. No one's going to need to buy one. No, some people might want a couple, but like, if everyone can have it, I actually commented this last night on Rob Does Pokemon. He did a live stream with a bunch of people, and like, Pokemon has a monopoly over Pikachu, over Charizard, over like Umbreon, over all these characters we know and love. The profit maximizing strategy for a monopoly is not to print over demand. It's to actually print under demand. Like Rolex watches. What's some really fancy car? I'm trying to think of one. Rolls Royces. Rolls Royces, Supreme t-shirts, Prada bags, whatever, like all these fashionable brands and stuff, they're worth more because they're exclusive. They're like, people value them more because they can't have them, because they're harder to have them. If Pokemon makes less than people want, it needs to be that way. Like Rudy talks about it all the time, the Game Piece Army. If everyone in the Game Piece Army could get their way and everyone could have everything, their stuff would be worth nothing. And people can't come to terms with that. People can't wrap their minds around it. Like, oh, think of the children. They should have the Prismatic at $5 a pack. No, because if everyone can have it, they don't want it. And it sits on Costco floors, and it sits in LGSs, and it sits in distribution. And it needs to be under demand. And they're intentionally doing that. They can't take it too far under demand, but they can't take it too far over demand either, or they could kill it. So it's actually a very difficult. Consumer demand is so fickle. It is. They're trying to hit a moving target. And if they do it wrong, it can cost them a lot of money.
Yeah, but yes, but they almost have taken it too far under demand with Prismatic. It'll be interesting to see what Journey Together looks like, because specialty sets are always weird.
It's because people are dumb, though. Surging is not that good of a set. Surging is not that good of a set.
Is like a top 3 Scarlet and Violet set.
People are going crazy for it because it's expensive. And then I say it all the time.
It's a good set.
Price goes up, so price goes up. It's like Surging is expensive because it's expensive. So then it gets more expensive. So then it gets more expensive. It's like people are so fickle. People are so, and I promise you, Prismatic will come back around. Surging will come back around. And I'm going to take a spicy, I should turn the lights red, but I don't have my phone up on the app. We need to end soon. Surging Sparks will be Vivid Voltage 2.0. Surging Sparks will be $130 a box in 3-4 years.
I don't think so. I don't think it's going to happen.
I think so.
Not a shot. Not a shot.
Because people are so fickle, because next set, best set, because all these things going on. Once the printers unleash, and I could be wrong. I'm not guaranteeing it. I could be wrong. But I'm going to make that claim because I think they're going to print a lot of it. It's going to be around. It's going to be on Pokemon Center. It's going to be everywhere. And people won't want it as much because they can have it. People be Surging will come around. People can have it. And then they'll be crying about Journey Together, crying about 30th anniversary, crying about whatever. People will just cry relentlessly. They'll find something to be a victim to. And all these sets that they were crying about 2 years ago, they'll have forgotten about by then. Like, that's just the cycle. That's the circle of life. That's how it goes.
I don't know. I don't agree with you on that one. I think Surging will be one of the sets that people remember in Scarlet and Violet.
Someone clip it.
I think it's It's 151 surging, and then I'm either gonna I might even say Paldean Fates instead of Prismatic Evolutions. That'd be my third. Paldean Fates or Prismatic Evolutions.
I like Paldean Fates.
I really
151
like
to me.
Paldean Fates.
151 wins easy. Prismatic, Paldean Fates. Those are the biggest ones.
I think
But I'm
Surging's
like,
in there. I think Surging.
I'm a Kanto guy. I don't know. Surging is Vivid 2.0 for sure.
No, it's way better. What are you even talking? You don't know. You don't even know what's in the set. It's a Pikachu set.
I don't.
You don't open product. You can't be part of the conversation.
That is facts. That is facts. I will admit that. I know there's a couple different Pikachus. What else did we
name
open
one other card in the set?
I'm trying to remember what my son or my daughter pulled. They pulled something. No, I don't actually know. But I truly think price wise, I think it will mimic what Vivid did. I think just not because of what it is or isn't, just because of the fickle nature of consumer demand and due to what I think they'll do with the supply with it. Might they not do that? Might it be a $400 box by the fall? It absolutely could be. I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I'm trying to sell down Surging as much as I can, presuming that it's getting a reprint. I think a reprint for February is like already confirmed. How much it's going to be? Are they going to do February and then July and then October? Who knows?
Speaking of Vivid, I like to think that I bought the last 2 cases on Pokemon Center before they sold out.
Did it sold out right after you?
Well, it was like a few hours after me, but I saw Poke Plumber's story on Instagram saying to buy Vivid Voltage. And that was the one set. So I have Darkness Ablaze to the end of Sword and Shield, 2 cases of everything, but I didn't have any Vivid Voltage. So I finally went and bought that, and then a few hours later, it sold out. Battle Styles was the last one.
The 2 Nicks together moving markets. Plumber is also Nick. I think this is going to be the last question because it's my current last question right now. But Mr. Walrus wants to know, you both have been reactive in the market so far. Vault, streaming, consignments, anything in the future that you're looking to start or be an early adopter to, a new section or not? That's a good question. That's from the normal meme master. He's hitting with a heavy hitter at the end. I think live streaming is surely not innovative. Like Whatnot has been there a few years. There's a lot of people live streaming. I don't know that anyone is doing it in the way that I am. I think I'm an early adopter, and maybe I'll be the only one crazy enough to ever do it. To like having streamers offsite, like Master Set we've had on before. You have to relocate to him near State College, Pennsylvania. A lot of people building like stream teams. Mystic Rips has an office space. Everyone in there. Goated Pulls has an office space with people in there. I'm gonna be just the business nomad. I'm gonna be able to run my business from a laptop, my phone, anywhere I go. And don't think that I'm the first one to do any of that. The amount of people that use my consignment service, that use James' consignment service, that use Probstein, that use Fanatics in general, there are tons of people that have like a very nomadic business in Pokemon, but I don't know of many people that have tied in the streaming aspect. So I'm trying to, and it's not like I'm trying to innovate. I don't think people will necessarily follow that or not, but I'm just doing what's right for me. I'm trying to do what's right for me. The market has upheaved itself so many times. So many things have changed. I've had to be more reactionary than I would like to be, but I hope I can just like coast on what I'm doing for the next 20 years. Hopefully things can be relatively calm and stable and steady. And I hope to be doing similar to what I'm doing now in 20 years, just a little bit bigger. What about you, Nick?
Continuing doing what I'm doing. I like that.
Isn't that like Obama? Obama's giving I've seen a meme where he's putting a medal on himself.
Yeah, no, continuing doing what I'm doing. The whole store having a physical location, that's still a dream. Whether it'll happen, no idea. But then more recently, Not anytime soon, but eventually getting like a TCG show started. Because like out here, Massachusetts, there were 3 or 4 monthly TCG shows, and they're doing really, really well right now. Obviously because of the boom and stuff. But out here, all the local shows are sports cards. There's no TCG shows. You'll have Pokemon vendors at the sports card shows. And there's a lot of those shows happening every weekend or every month, but there's no specific just TCG show. So maybe at some point that'll be a thing. And yes, it'll be called Walrus Con.
Walrus Con convention is a go. Let's go. I know. I don't know if you ever watch RNG game stuff. His wife is actually running like conventions. I think they're in New Jersey area.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, the market for them is crazy. Collecticons went from 4 shows a few years ago to like 18 this year. It's wild.
Yep.
I think the pie is growing significantly. At some point, I think there will be a little bit of a retraction. At some point, I think you'll see a couple shows shut down and you'll see a couple LGSs shut down, but hopefully not like anytime soon. Hopefully we have room to grow before we have that retracement, and we're bigger in a year, 5 years, 10 years than we are today, hopefully. But that's everything. Appreciate everyone hanging out. I'm going to be getting on the road. I'm staying with a college friend tonight, staying with PK the next night, and then watching some football with a different college friend. So it's a very action-packed weekend. I'm really looking forward to it. And you've got your family's in all weekend long. Are you doing lives then or no?
No, I'm gonna take tonight and tomorrow off.
I was gonna ask you, like, are you gonna have the sister and on camera running some singles, ripping some prismatic?
No, they would never. You
have any prismatic?
Want any part of that?
$1 in unison as a whole family unit.
Yes. Make awesome. Make it a family affair.
Very quickly at the end, I don't think you're a huge football guy, but I'm taking Chiefs -2, and I'm taking Washington +6. Philly to win a close game.
I haven't even been watching. Once the Patriots started blowing,
Nick's entirely checked out
into a Bears fan, I guess. Which that's not much better.
No, they've had a rough go too. But yeah, with that, those are our not financial advice gambling predictions. I will have some money laid out. I lost $100 last week on the Ravens being beaten by the Bills. So what does a good gambler do? A good gambler chases their losses. I'm putting 200 on the Chiefs.
Bills?
No. I bet the Ravens to beat the Bills. The
Bills
won, though.
Okay.
So a good gambler will double their bet. They will chase their losses. So I'm riding 200 on the Chiefs now to get my money back. Martingale guy had a good strategy. So I'm
there we go.
But yeah, with that, hope everyone has a very great weekend. Hopefully we helped get you through your Friday. Appreciate you all watching as always. We will catch you all later.